Welcome to Whispers and Confessions. There might be a twist waiting, so please make sure to watch until the end. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Let's begin right away.
My name is Harrison, a 33-year-old typical office worker who enjoys weight training as a hobby. On weekdays, I head to the gym after work, sweating it out and building muscle, feeling a little proud when I catch my reflection in the mirror. On weekends, I go jogging in a nearby park, keeping my body light with some cardio. Honestly, I'm just a guy with a pretty routine life, repeating the same old routine. Even though I've been working on my physique, there's no one to show it off to or share it with. A few years ago, after getting some concerning results from a health checkup, I got serious about weight training. It was a lonely life, quietly encouraging myself without anyone to impress or receive praise from. But then, out of nowhere, a chance encounter totally changed my life. Looking back, it's a funny, slightly embarrassing memory. If you're up for it, I'd love for you to hear my story. I remember it was a beautiful spring day, buzzing with fresh energy. It was a holiday morning, and as usual, I went for a jog in the nearby park. The park is spacious, with wide green lawns, always lively with families and kids' cheerful laughter. The calm, warm vibe of the park relaxed me, and I ran lightly, matching my pace to the music streaming through my earphones. After about an hour of running, I started to feel a bit out of breath, and my legs were getting heavy, so I decided to take a break on a bench in one corner of the park. I sat down, took a sip of water, and closed my eyes, letting the cool breeze under the shade of a tree wash over me. The scent of nature and the chirping of birds blended together, making me feel totally at peace. But in that tranquil moment, someone suddenly spoke to me. "Excuse me." Startled, my heart raced, and I snapped my eyes open. Standing in front of me were three strikingly beautiful women, all staring at me intently. Their intense stares threw me off. Man, these women are gorgeous, I thought, but at the same time, a flicker of doubt popped up. Why are they looking at me like that? One of them, a woman with short blonde hair and a radiant, confident smile, spoke first. "Your muscles are seriously impressive." Her voice was lively and confident. A little thrown off, I responded hesitantly. "Oh, really?" I was still wary of the unfamiliar situation, but I'd be lying if I said the compliment didn't feel good. Normally, I'd just look in the mirror and mutter to myself, "Good job, Harrison." So hearing someone praise my muscles was a nice change. "Can we feel them?" she asked boldly, before I could even react. Her straightforwardness caught me off guard, but I shrugged and said, "Sure, go ahead." After all, it's not like my muscles were going to wear out. The three women lightly touched and squeezed my arms, letting out gasps of admiration. "Wow, they're so solid. This is perfect. It has to be this guy." Their reactions left me puzzled, and I gave a puzzled look. "It has to be me? Did I do something wrong?" I looked at them half curious, half nervous. Then, a woman with long, elegant brown hair gave me a soft smile and spoke up. "We're looking for a model right now." Her voice was calm and warm. "A model?" I asked, surprised. This time, the third woman, with slightly curly hair and a cozy, approachable vibe, chimed in. "Yep, a sketch model." She smiled as if talking to an old friend and continued. "We're artists who sketch muscular guys, but it's been tough finding the perfect model. So we came to the park today hoping to find someone, and then we spotted you. Those arms peeking out of your short-sleeve shirt, totally perfect." The three women surrounded me, passionately praising my muscles. I was used to giving myself quiet pep talks like, "Nice work today, Harrison." So having people genuinely compliment me gave me a warm feeling. "Thank you," I said, a little embarrassed. Then the curly-haired woman's eyes sparkled as she asked, "Will you be our model?" I hesitated for a moment. What does being a model involve? Honestly, it was the first time strangers had approached me like this, so I wasn't completely at ease. But the joy of having my muscles praised softened my guard, so I asked the question. "All you do is stand still," she replied simply. "Just stand still," I echoed, and the woman with long brown hair added, "Yes, my house is nearby, and you just stand there for us." A few hours on weekends would be enough. We can't pay you, but we'll treat you to some delicious food in return. What do you think? Her eyes were sincere, full of hope. I fell into thought. This feels a little sketchy. They're picking me to be a sketch model. I glanced at each of their faces, weighing my options. But they looked genuinely worried I might say no, clasping their hands together and gazing at me with pleading eyes. Well, it should be fine, I muttered to myself. Even if it was some kind of trap, I was confident I could handle myself physically, and honestly, I kind of wanted more compliments about my muscles. All right, I said with a nod, and their faces lit up instantly. Sweet. We got him. I was so worried you'd say no. They laughed and chatted excitedly among themselves, and their excitement was so charming that I couldn't help but smile. They were eager to start sketching right away, so I followed them to one of the women's houses. On the way, they introduced themselves. The blonde, short-haired woman with the vibrant energy went first. I'm Lily, 42 years old. I work at a company, and my hobby is drawing. My personality? I guess I'm pretty chill, she said with a hearty laugh. Her vibe lit up the group. Next was the curly-haired woman with the warm vibe. I'm Sophia, 41. I'm a freelancer who works from home. My personality? People say I'm laid back or maybe just slow-paced, she said with a gentle smile, her calm demeanor matching her wavy hair. Finally, the woman with long brown hair introduced herself. I'm Olivia, 41. I'm usually buried in work. Drawing on weekends is my only hobby. I'm kind of a homebody, but I enjoy talking with people, she said with a serene smile. Olivia had a quiet warmth and often flashed a gentle grin. I gave a brief introduction too. I'm Harrison, 33, an office worker. My hobby is weight training. And, well, I'm just an average guy living a normal life. We soon arrived at Olivia's house. Come on in. It might be a bit messy, she said with a shy smile as she opened the door, but the house was neat, with a subtle lavender smell. As I was led into a room, I noticed a distinct smell. Is that the smell of paint? It was a gentle, calming smell. The walls were covered with colorful paintings, making it clear this was the space of someone who truly loved art. Wow, this is amazing, I said, unable to hold back my admiration. Olivia blushed slightly and said humbly, I've still got a ways to go. Let's get started. Lily exclaimed brightly, leading me to the center of the room. I stood there, feeling kind of out of place. But then Lily waved her hand and said, No, that's not right. Huh? I asked, confused, and she casually declared, You've got to strip down completely. I was floored. What? That's the only way we can draw properly, Sophia said, giggling. I looked to Olivia for help, but she just smiled softly and said, Come on, hurry up. Are these guys serious? Or am I overthinking this? I was completely flustered and froze in place. Then Olivia brought out a small mat and placed it on the floor, saying, You don't want to stand on the bare floor, right? Sorry, I should have thought of that. She was apologizing for something entirely different. No, that's not the issue. I tried to protest, but their expectant gazes pressured me. Feeling like resisting would just waste time, I reluctantly undressed. The room fell silent. The three women picked up their pencils with serious expressions and began sketching on their papers. The only sound was the soft scratch of pencils on paper. I stood there, not knowing where to look, feeling uneasy. With nothing to do, I half wished I could do some strength exercises. As I glanced around, I noticed Olivia staring at me intently, her hand tracing my outline in the air. She was clearly focused on her drawing, but her gaze and gestures had a strange, alluring vibe. My heart started pounding, and I couldn't look away. What is this? Why does she seem so captivating? Then it hit me. I hadn't really looked at her properly before. Olivia's style was striking. Even sitting down, you could tell she had long legs, slender arms, glossy hair, and clear, radiant skin. I was totally captivated, and something inside me just clicked. No, snap out of it, Harrison, I told myself, shaking my head and tearing my eyes away from her. But then my gaze landed on Sophia. Oh, Sophia has a really impressive figure. Another switch nearly flipped. No way. I quickly shifted my eyes to Lily, but her toned legs caught my attention. This is dangerous. Models aren't supposed to move, but if this keeps up, I'm going to, get noticeably excited. I tried hard to stay calm, but then my eyes locked with Olivia's. She tilted her head cutely, looking at me, and my self-control totally collapsed. Oh, with a small groan, I couldn't hold back. My body heated up, and well, let's just say I got noticeably excited. Lily gasped in surprise. Whoa. I blushed hard, mortified, and crouched down on the spot. That's incredible, Sophia said, laughing in amazement. I couldn't take it anymore. I'm so sorry. It's just a guy thing, I muttered, my head bowed, wishing I could disappear. Then Olivia spoke softly. It's okay. It's really impressive. Her warm voice was slightly comforting, but no way was this cool. I was just a model, reacting like that so easily. What a mess I was. I wanted to run away from the embarrassment. But Lily said firmly, Come on, stand back up. We can't draw like this. But I hesitated, and Sophia giggled. It's fine as is. What? I couldn't believe it, but they weren't giving me a choice. Reluctantly, I stood up slowly, staring at the wall and trying my hardest to stay calm. Thankfully, that helped me relax a bit. But then Lily suddenly shouted, No, no. What now? I asked, startled, and she made a wild demand. Stay, like that. Sophia chimed in. Yeah, that's how we can draw it properly. What? I tried to protest, but I just wanted to say it was impossible. Lily, however, seemed to misinterpret me, saying, Well, looks like we gotta do this, and suddenly approached me. Wait, hold on, I yelped, but she smirked playfully and wrapped her arms around me. Her warmth and gentle scent wrapped around me. Youth is great, she said playfully, kissing my neck. The moment her lips touched me, my body tingled. You don't have to, I stammered, but she teased, Don't be so cold, and placed her hand on my chest, gently caressing me. Her touch was bold yet delicate, and I was caught between confusion and thrill. Olivia was watching us with a flushed face, while Sophia looked thrilled, almost clapping. Is this what sketching is? I was bewildered, but in that moment, all my doubts just faded. 40 minutes later, Lily stepped back with a satisfied smile and returned to her seat. My turn. No cutting in, Sophia said, her eyes sparkling as she approached me. For real. I was already too far gone and pulled her into my arms without hesitation. Her curvaceous body pressed against mine, sending a wave of heat through me. Wow, you're so passionate. Who knew modeling could be this fun? Sophia said with a playful smile, kissing my shoulder. Her touch had a different rhythm from Lily's, and I was so caught up in her scent I was speechless. When she finished and stepped back, I caught my breath and looked at Olivia. Her cheeks were flushed, and she stood frozen in place. Lily and Sophia urged her, but she was too shy to move. I was already too far gone, so I smiled at her and opened my arms. Olivia, I called softly. She cautiously looked up and whispered, I want to. Her voice trembled, but her eyes were full of longing. For Olivia's sketch, I said something absurd, walking toward her. Even I thought, for her sketch? What am I saying? But everything was a blur. She slowly approached and took my hand. Her hand was warm and soft, and its slight trembling made my heart race. Lily and Sophia were bold and fiery, but Olivia's hesitant charm was irresistibly charming. I gently held her hand and pulled her into a careful embrace. When her warmth touched my skin, my whole body buzzed. We gazed at each other wordlessly and kissed. Her lips were soft and sweet, and in that moment, everything else just vanished. Her breath, her touch, her trembling eyes, everything was perfect. I held her tighter, my hands tracing her curves. Her skin was smooth and warm, and the quiet sound she made my heart pound. Olivia, I whispered her name, kissing her neck. She gasped softly and melted deeper into my arms. In that moment, I felt a deep joy, like we were connected. When I came to my senses, 2.5 hours had zipped by. Catching my breath and coming back to my senses, I asked, "Did you finish the sketch?" But Lily giggled and shook her head. "Not at all. Round two, let's go." She pulled me into another embrace, her warm touch overwhelming me again, and I lost myself once more. Sophia and Olivia took turns sharing passionate moments with me, and 5 hours passed. Enduring that intensity for 5 hours was a first in my life, and I was completely wiped out, like I was drained. "Guess that's it for today's sketch," Lily said with a laugh. "This was so fun." Sophia added with an innocent smile. "No way I can keep going." I groaned inwardly, nearly collapsing. Then Olivia, "You handle the cleanup. We're full, so we'll head out," Lily said, leaving with Sophia. Olivia approached me with a concerned look. "Are you okay, Harrison?" Her kind eyes warmed my heart, but I was too worn out to sound excited. "I'm not okay," I said weakly. "I figured. Let me make you some food," she said, patting my shoulder with a gentle smile. "Food?" I asked, surprised, and she grinned. "I promised to feed you for modeling, didn't I?" She led me to the living room and headed to the kitchen. Soon, the house filled with the smell of mouth-watering food. She served up steak, roasted vegetables, and creamy pasta. Every dish was amazing. "This is amazing," I said sincerely, and she smiled shyly. "I'm glad you like it." "What a day, right?" we said as we ate, chatting naturally. I felt kinda bad and spoke up. "I'm really sorry, Olivia. I feel like I led things in a weird direction." She blushed and shook her head. "No, Harrison." I was embarrassed, but I was happy. "Really?" I asked, surprised, and she continued hesitantly. "Yeah, I haven't had a boyfriend in a long time, and I've just been working nonstop. I'm kind of a boring person. Just work, work, work." Her voice had a touch of sadness. I took her hand gently and said, "Olivia, you're cute, beautiful, and stylish. I don't know everything about your personality yet, but you're gentle and calm with a mature charm. That's plenty to make you totally charming. I live a similar life, you know." "Really? You just work too?" she asked with a small laugh. "Yep, work and weight training. That's it," I replied, and she burst out laughing. Her genuine laugh was so cute. "But you're cool," she said. "What, my muscles?" I teased, and she looked at me earnestly. "Your muscles, sure. But also you, Harrison." "Huh." I was caught off guard, and she continued shyly. "It's been so long since I've eaten with a guy like this. Seeing you smile and enjoy the food, it made me so happy. And you're cool." Her kind words really got to me. "Olivia, you're adorable too," I said, a bit embarrassed, and she blushed, laughing. "Don't say it so directly. It's embarrassing." The cozy vibe relaxed me. As I prepared to leave, Olivia cautiously asked, "Harrison, will you come back for the next sketch?" I thought for a moment and said, "Well, maybe not for something like today." "Right?" she nodded. "But just modeling would be fine. And I'd get to see you," I said honestly, and she laughed in surprise. "Did you just say that out loud?" "Haha. Then I'll just ask you to model. I'll make sure Lily and Sophia don't pull anything like that again," she promised, and we exchanged contact info before I headed home. Her promise gave me a good feeling about the next time. The following Saturday, I went back to Olivia's house. Lily and Sophia were there, but they kept it chill. Lily grinned. "Harrison, we got a bit carried away last time. After that, I started wanting to date again. I'm looking for a boyfriend now." Sophia chuckled. I was wrecked the next day. That day, I modeled properly, and afterward, Lily and Sophia left, leaving me to enjoy a delicious spread from Olivia. Just standing there, and I get this amazing food? I said, touched. Olivia smiled. "Standing is hard work, Harrison. This is just normal." Her soft voice made me feel good. After eating, we chatted casually. When I stood to leave, Olivia quietly took my hand. "Olivia," my pulse quickened as I glanced at her hand. "You're leaving already?" she asked softly, looking up at me. I didn't want to overstay. I said, my voice trembling. "You're not. I want to stay with you a bit longer," she said, her cheeks flushed with honesty. "Then I won't go." I held her hand tightly and sat back down beside her. We smiled shyly at each other, and naturally fell into an embrace. Feeling each other's warmth, we kissed softly. Her lips were warm, and the moment felt just right. Unlike the passionate intensity of before, this was a warm, genuine joy. That day marked a shift in our relationship. Every weekend, I modeled for her sketches, and after Lily and Sophia left, we shared delicious meals and happy moments, growing our love at our own pace for 3 months. Around that time, I knew I was head over heels for Olivia. One day, while eating her warm, homemade meal, I worked up the nerve. "Olivia, I really love you. Will you go out with me?" She was so shocked, she dropped her fork and choked on her water. "Sorry, bad timing during dinner," I said, patting her back, but she shook her head and hugged me. "Harrison, I never imagined you'd love me." I was so surprised. We're both so busy during the week, barely texting twice a day, and only seeing each other on weekends. I thought it'd never work. "I'm just a boring woman who works all the time, but you've always been so warm to me. Just spending weekends together, eating, talking, and cuddling. It's made me so happy. And then, I fell for you too. Thank you." Tears welled in her eyes, and her honesty really touched me. "Working a lot is fine. I'm just a guy who lifts weights. Even if we date, let's value our own time. It's not about how often we meet. It's about what works for us," I said, and she nodded happily. That's how we started dating, keeping the same rhythm, work during the week, and cherishing our weekends together. That routine felt so fulfilling and joyful. By the way, we told Lily and Sophia about our relationship. Sure, things got wild, but it's been normal since. Still, they were over the moon for us, saying, "Congrats. We knew it. Olivia was totally different around you from the start. We were total wing women." Their support strengthened our connection. I kept modeling for 8 months. Around then, Olivia seemed busier, as did Lily and Sophia, likely preparing for an art contest. Since the theme wasn't male muscles, I mostly brought coffee and snacks, but seeing Olivia so passionate about her work made me respect her even more. It also strengthened my desire to support her more closely. Thinking about how to do that, I came to a major decision. I wanted to marry her. I wanted to stand by her side forever, supporting her in every way I could. So I secretly prepared a ring, and on the day her contest piece was finished, I hugged her and said, "You totally killed it, Olivia." "Thanks, Harrison. Your snacks and meals meant so much," she said sincerely, making me want to support her even more. Quietly, I slipped the ring onto her finger. "Harrison, what's this?" She froze, staring at me with wide eyes. "Will you marry me?" "I want to support you forever," I said earnestly. She stood still for a moment, then nodded repeatedly. "I'm so happy. During this busy time, you helped me so much." I kept thinking how nice it'd be to live together every day. We're always on the same wavelength, and that makes me so happy. "Stay by my side forever." Tears of joy glistened in her eyes, and she said yes. A few days later, Lily and Sophia heard the news and cheered us on big time. Despite the wild start, we'd grown pretty close, which I was grateful for. 6 years have passed since we married, and we're still building our life together at our own pace. We work and I train during the week, cheering each other with "good job" at night. On weekends, Olivia sketches, and I cook for her, supporting her in my own way. Oh, and Lily and Sophia still come over to sketch on weekends. Our friendship remains strong. Lily got married suddenly a few years ago, and Sophie is living her best life as a free-spirited single. Everyone's living their best lives. By the way, Olivia's contest piece won a prize. She wasn't aiming to go professional, but she was ecstatic. That artwork is framed and hangs in our living room. We plan to keep lifting each other up at our own pace, as we always have. Thanks for listening to the end. I'd love to hear your cool stories too.